Good afternoon. I want to talk to you about inspirational. What keeps me going? What keeps you going? And why should we keep going? After my son died by suicide, I was so busy grieving and my loss, my pain, trying to function from day to day. I didn't think about keeping going day after day. I was just functioning. Today, what inspires me? Brene Brown. I love her videos, her talk on humanness, her talk on the struggles that human people go through. They're not necessarily about death, they're not necessarily about life, they're about being in existence on this earth. But I can take it as she's talking about me. This is all about me. Brene Brown talks about guilt. She talks about shame. She talks about vulnerability. All of these things have to do with surviving the loss of a loved one to suicide. Guilt, we all can have. I didn't have it as much as I know some can have it. It really depends on the circumstances. But guilt is huge. It will eat you alive. It's worse than cancer. Guilt is horrific. Getting beyond it to the other side of it is much better. But I was inspired about her shame. Talking about shame, it reminded me suicide in life, there's so much shame and stigma. There's so many people that don't know how to talk to you, don't know how to listen, they don't know how to be around you. When people saw me, they saw my pain, they saw my grief, and what triggers them is they put themselves in some kind of pain and it's unimaginable. It's unfathomable. So to see me, they couldn't even see me, look at me, talk to me because they felt if that was them, they could do it. They don't know how I do it. I got so much of that in my months and years of grieving. To this day, it's not as much, but it's still there. I still see it in people. Because believe it or not, with my coming out and talking in the public, I actually had a family that had me come and sit down and chat with them because they had a sister that was suicidal. She talked about wanting to die every day. She wasn't eating hardly anything because there was nothing to live for, but she was still in existence. It was like she was punishing herself. But I know there were other mental health issues. But at this point, all I could talk to them about was how to listen to her. Don't judge her. When you see her, try to look beyond your pain because it's not about you, it's about her. And they could accept that much better because they didn't know how to connect with her without feeling for her and wanting to show her a better life. And why is she spending so much time in this sadness and this negativity? Well, it wasn't about that. Accept her for who she is, and she will visit more often, no matter the state of her mind. But anyway, so Brene Brown talked very much about these things. And when I try to incorporate the energy into my talks, and when I'm sitting with this couple talking to them about the family member that was not well, they literally said to me, how can you exist? How can you talk to the public and to people about your pain? Don't you feel guilty? Don't you feel some kind of remorse for the loss of your son, like, I stopped. That caught me. It like a fish hook. It grabbed onto my heart and it pulled. And I said, absolutely, I feel so much pain, but I can't live my life. I won't be able to live my life if I was in such remorse and had horrific guilt. I would not be able to go on. It would be too difficult for me. I had to assess my loss, my pain. How does that fit in my life? What does my life look like? And that's when I had to reach out for inspiring people, events, things that inspired me, and that was to be upbeat and talk about my loss. I wanted to share my humanness, my pain, my loss, what happens in life, because I wanted to connect with all the other survivors of suicide loss. I wanted them to know you're not alone. You are not alone in your grief and your pain. You may feel it, but I'm here to prove to you that we are existing. We can have that pain and loss. We can feel horrific. We can feel grief. We can cry. We have emotions, but we still have a life to live. There is still life to be lived after a loss of a loved one to suicide. I wanted to prove that, and I wanted it to be Canadian born. Canadian resources are far and few between. Real, authentic Canadian resources of survivors of suicide loss don't exist. There are some of us, like myself, that are out there projecting how to get by, what to do. They tell their story. We're all doing the same thing. That inspires me when survivors of suicide loss, like you, like many, that connect with me and comment and share and subscribe when they tell me it has been helpful. Other things that inspire me are my two daughters, Marcia and Melanie. They inspire me because they have unconditionally provided love. They love me unconditional for who I am. They know I am who I am, and they accept me for that. And they also go on in life with their pain of losing their brother. My other amazing, inspirational little human beings are my beautiful 4 grandsons. They give me unconditional love and they inspire me. Their innocence, their wanting to spend time with me, old person, senior nanny. They want to spend time with nanny. I love it when they put their arms out and they hug me and they tell me they love me, or they call me on the phone. My oldest, he's 8, and Nathan will call me and want to play Roadblocks, and he will say, Nanny, can you play Roadblocks? How much time do you have? Like, to hear him say to me, how much time do you have? I have my whole freaking life to play Roadblocks with you. Can I? No, because I can't function in those games. It's multitasking. I suck at Roadblocks, but he loves it because he can beat me. Kent, my 5-year-old grandson, beats me. He shoots me. He kills my character in the game and never says a word. He just goes on. I reborn and I start to play again and he does it again. I have to laugh. It makes them feel so good to think that they've conquered me in a game. My other 5.5-year-old Matthew loves to sit with me, read books, go to the park. We walked to the park on the weekend. We watched a movie, Land Before Time. I loved it. I had to sit and watch it with him. It's such a beautiful movie. There are so many beautiful kids' movies that remove me from the present, the turmoil, the reality in life sometimes is not wonderful. So Matthew brought these little movies to me and we watched them and they're amazing. My 2.5-year-old James is just an inspiration. He's an ever ready battery. Nini, I love you. He's so beautiful. So these things inspire me to be here. You inspire me to be here because you want to hear my videos. Thank you once again. Until my next one, which could be today, tomorrow, who knows when I'm inspired, I have another message. I will video it. Thank you, and do have a beautiful day. The sun is shining. You must be able to see it coming through the window and shining on me, filling my heart with joy. Thank you very much. Bye for now.